Ever heard a man born in the frozen wilds, abandoned by his people, who rose to become the most feared man in human history? Not Alexander, not Caesar. This was Genghis Khan, the man who forged a storm on horseback and reshaped the world forever. Genghis Khan's real name was Temujin. Before we dig deep into the story of Genghis Khan, we must go back, long before his name shook the world. Mongolia was divided into many small tribes. These tribes were ruled by strong leaders. Some were brave, others were selfish. Their fight for power and control created the world where Genghis Khan would later rise. One of the earliest leaders was Kabul Khan, Genghis Khan's great-grandfather. He was first to try uniting the Mongol tribes and even challenge the powerful Jin dynasty of China. His dream was big, but it didn't last long. After him, Kutlai Khan continued the fight. He attacked the Tatars, who were all enemies of the Mongol. Then came Imbagi Khan, who was captured by Tatar and handed over to the Jin dynasty. There he was killed in a cruel way, an act that the Mongols never forget. At the same time, other tribal leaders were also playing big roles. One of them was Tughrul Khan, also known as Wang Khan. He was the ruler of the Karat tribe and followed Christianity. In the beginning, he was like a father to young Temujin Genghis Khan, but later greed took over and he turned against him. In the end, Temujin defeated him in a battle. But the biggest betrayal came from Jamukha, Temujin's childhood friend and blood brother. They once dreamed of ruling together, but Jamukha became jealous. In one battle, he defeated Temujin and killed 70 of his commanders by boiling them alive, something Temujin would never forgive. These powerful men, warrior, leader, traitors all shaped the life of the boy who would become Genghis Khan. He wasn't born a ruler. He became one through pain, war, and survival. He built an empire from nothing and wrote his name in history forever. Temujin Genghis Khan was born around 1162 near the Onan River. His father Yuzugai was a chieftain of the Borjigin clan. Temujin was just 9 when his father was poisoned by a rival Tatar tribe during a political mission. With their leader gone, the tribe abandoned Yuzugai, widow and children, leaving them to fend for themselves in one of the hardest climates on earth. Food became a luxury. Temujin and his family survived on roots, berries, and wild animals. One day, in a desperate act of dominance, Temujin killed his own half-brother Behter in a dispute over food and authority. This brutal act wasn't cruelty, it was survival. And from that moment, the boy who had nothing learned how power works. It's never given, it's taken. Temujin was later captured by a rival tribe and enslaved with a heavy wooden collar around his neck. He escaped with the help of a kind jailer, a rare moment of mercy in a cruel world. This early trial shaped him into a leader who would value loyalty above blood, discipline above chaos, and strategy above strength. Mongolia in the 12th century was a fragmented land of countless tribes, each with its own ambition. Temujin had a vision no other Mongol dared to dream: unity. He gathered allies not based on family ties but on merit and loyalty. He abolished aristocratic privilege and rewarded warriors based on bravery and talent, a revolutionary idea for the time. But power came at a price. His blood brother and one-time best friend Jamukha turned against him. Jamukha believed only in nobles had the right to rule. The difference would tear their bond apart and turn brotherhood into war. In 1187, Jamukha struck first with an army of 30,000 men. He crashed Temujin's smaller force in the Battle of the Lan Baljut. But the real horror came after the battle. Jamukha captured 70 of Temujin's closest commanders and boiled them alive. It was a message: rebellion would be punished with cruelty. Temujin disappeared for a time, but he was not broken. He was learning. Years later, Temujin returned stronger and smarter, and no longer just a warrior. He had united many tribes and built an army of loyal followers. In 1202, the two rivals met once more, this time in the Battle of Chakrimouth. Temujin defeated Jamukha completely. When Jamukha was captured, Temujin offered him mercy, even power, but Jamukha refused. They cannot There cannot be two suns in the sky, he said. He asked for an honorable death, and Temujin gave it to him. Temujin defeated his greatest rival Jamuga and ended the power of traditional Mongol autocracy. Tribe after tribe chose to follow Temujin not just as a warrior but as a leader. In 1206, after years of war, the Mongol nobles and chieftains gathered on the bank of the Onon River. There, in a grand assembly called Kurultai, they gave him a new title, Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler. That moment marked the birth of a new era. The boy, once abandoned by his own people, had now become the supreme ruler of all Mongols, and soon the rest of the world would know his name. Genghis Khan didn't just unite tribes, he built the most advanced military force of the world. The Mongol army was lean, noble, and deadly. Each soldier had up to 3 horses switching mounts during battle to stay fresh. Their main weapon, the composite bow, which could pierce armor from a distance of 200 meters even while riding at full speed. Genghis Khan introduced strict military disciplines. If a soldier deserted his unit, the entire group of 10 could be executed. But if a man saved another life or showed extreme courage, he was rewarded instantly, often with promotion, spoils, or land. Genghis Khan's most brilliant generals, Subotai and Jebe, who were trusted with full command and autonomy. They used lightning raids, retreats to lure enemies into traps, and psychological warfare to terrorize the entire group. The Mongols communicated using signal flags and a relay system of messenger that allowed real-time battlefield coordination, something no other army of the time could do. Genghis Khan didn't win just with numbers. He outthought and outmaneuvered his enemies before the first arrow was even fired. But in 1219, Genghis Khan sent a caravan of traders to the Khwarizm Empire, a powerful state spanning modern-day Iran and Central Asia. Genghis Khan sent a caravan of merchants to the Khwarizm Empire ruled by Shah Alauddin Muhammad. Suspecting them of spying, the Shah executed the traders. Genghis Khan responded with diplomacy, sending 3 ambassadors. But the Shah committed the ultimate mistake. He had one killed and other humiliated. Genghis Khan's reply was not in word, but fire and steel. With over 1 lakh warriors, he stormed into the empire. Cities like Bukhara, Samarkand fell one by one. No one could withstand with Mongol siege tactics. In Bukhara, Genghis Khan entered the Grand Mosque and stood before the people, declaring with a thunderous certainty, "I am the punishment of God. If you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you." Compared to any sultan, Genghis Khan's anger was like a storm. The Khwarizm Empire was destroyed, its cities burned, and its king died in exile. The message was clear: betray Genghis Khan and face total destruction. By the time of his death in 1227, Genghis Khan had built an empire that stretched from the Pacific Ocean to Caspian Sea, greater in land mass than the Islamic Caliphates, the Roman Empire, or even Alexander's conquest. But he wasn't just a destroyer. He established trade routes across Asia, revived the Silk Road, created a postal system that rivaled any kingdom, promoted religious freedom, and enforced a legal code, the Yasa, that keep peace in a massive multicultural empire. His son and grandson would go on to rule China, Yuan dynasty, Persia, Ilkhanate, Russia, Golden Horde, and Central Asia. Cities were built in his name, and even today his DNA can be traced across millions. Where other empires faded, his legacy spreads like wildfire. Genghis Khan was more than a conqueror. He was a force of nature. From an abandoned child to the supreme ruler of largest land empire in human history, his journey was one of raw grit, burning vengeance, and an unstoppable will. If this story stirred something in you, if it fascinated you, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more epic historical documentaries. But wait, we are not done yet. From the burning sand of Khwarizm to the frozen steppes of Russia, with lightning speed, flawless tactic, and terrifying discipline, Genghis Khan cavalry crushed empire that had stood for centuries. But what made them so unstoppable? Which battle carved their name into the bones of history? And how did a gallery of norms bring half of the world to its knees? In our next episode, we dive deep into the most brutal and brilliant battle of Mongol empires. Thank you.